release to my players before the game to start very strong, to show our desire to win. And we started very well to score the goal very soon. But then we continued to play a good football.
Jose, 30 seconds and it had already gone wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Football matches start 0-0. This match started 1-0. It's hard. It's hard, especially for the player, for a manager, but it's harder for the players because they know the mistakes that were made in the second half. I don't want to speak about mistakes. I want to speak about the consequence of an open game, a consequence of them defending with 9 and counter-attacking with 2 very fast players. And I don't think we deserve this result at all.
Very painful afternoon. Very painful result. Bad feeling. But it's just 3 points. You know, it's a very difficult result for Neil, but we need to keep going.
We've been working on this formation and, you know, buying into the manager and what he wants to do with the style that we're going to play, and it's proving very difficult to play against at the minute. So we've managed to build from the back, managed to get out quite well, and give the attacking players, you know, a lot of freedom to go and hurt the team. But with the formation and everything else, you have to bring the attitude along with it. And today, you know, from 1 to 11 was superb.
What did Jose say to you as the full-time whistle went?
Yeah, but when there is a private conversation, it's right to remain private.
Although Italian media are reporting that Mourinho said that Conte shouldn't have whipped the fans up at 4-0 because that's humiliating. He should have done it at 1-0. But if we talk about that, it deflects from talking and analysing the game. How would you describe Chelsea's win? Comprehensive, comfortable?
Yeah, I thought you know, man for man, they were brilliant. The way they've adapted to the formation, I thought that every single player did their job today. From minute 1, they looked more at it than United, and when they got the chances, they stuck them away.
He said, Mourinho, they didn't deserve that scoreline. Would you agree?
Well, I have some sympathy for the Man United manager. On Monday, I thought they were fantastic. And within 31 seconds today, they were 1-0 down. And then within 20 minutes, they were 2-0 down. And the mistakes they made in the game, you cannot legislate for that as a coach. And I think there were times in the game I thought United had opportunities to get back in the game. But ultimately, they weren't good enough. And Chelsea were fantastic.
I don't know what the ratings in the papers are tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
We've seen some of the headlines, not the ratings. I would imagine that Chris Smalling's will be quite low, but it's easy to single him out, is it?
Yeah, I think he will get the blunt of the criticism, but there was other players involved in the goals as well. Look, straight from the kick-off, 31 seconds into the game, you see Daley Blind there. He's not in line with his centre-backs. He should be up. Then you can play Pedro offside. Pedro then makes a run in behind, and Chris Smalling should see the run. I don't think he sees him. He's totally by surprise. And David De Gea, his starting position is actually really good, but I don't think there's any need for him to come out there because Pedro's still got a lot to do, and Smalling and Daley Blind are still back there. As the ball comes over the top from Alonso, you see Chris Smalling, look at the surprise on his face. He doesn't see Pedro. Daley Blind should track the run, and David De Gea comes out, and it was an horrendous start to the game, and that just typified United's afternoon. The third goal, Mata, Valencia and Smalling. Hazard's on the ball. He's one-on-one versus Juan Mata. The minute he plays it inside, he just runs in behind Juan Mata. Antonio Valencia, who was the best player on the pitch for Man United today, should tuck in. That's the right winger in him, not smelling the danger. Hazard runs in behind. He's 1v1 with Chris Smalling. Show him on his left foot, Chris. Don't allow him to come inside. We know he wants to come inside. And he scores that one. And the fourth goal for me, me and Jermaine both played midfield. That was the third goal. We both played in midfield. Herrera and Paul Pogba there. I think this is absolutely scandalous. The way that Kante just runs in behind Pogba. Herrera can see the run as well. He doesn't track it. Then he's 1v1 with Chris Smalling. And that probably just typified Chris Smalling's day, really. Kante just... It was too easy. He went past it too easy.
It's a brilliant goal from Kante.
Do you think we'd be praising that goal more if it had been Eden Hazard?
100%. If that was Oscar, Hazard, Fabregas, you name it, we'd be going crazy about it. It's poor defending from Smalling, but it's a brilliant goal.
He shouldn't be allowed to run in behind Pogba and Herrera.
When you analysed all three of those goals, you highlight a triumvirate of players each time.
Yeah.
Are you seeing then that nobody's talking to each other? Is there a lack of... I mean, men are being passed on, there are runs being made and nobody's tracking them. Are they talking to each other?
I think that's where Jose Mourinho will be really disappointed, because on Monday at Anfield, I saw a team performance. at times this season people said, what's the system that United are playing? On Monday night I saw a system, and I was actually thought, United can go places this year. They look like they've got a system that they're happy with, they're aggressive, they were tight defensively. Today they were anything but.
If we're talking about systems that work, then that is... It's like he knew what was coming next. Then we are talking Chelsea.
No, look, I mean, this is a team, you know, who went to Arsenal, got absolutely battered, and, you know, since then, since they looked like they had that soft centre in that game, he's gone, I've had enough of this, I'm making changes. You can see there, the stats are brilliant.
For Hull, Leicester and now United.
Precisely. I mean, and what he's done, he's gone to 3 at the back, which we all expected him to do, but when you're attacking a team that plays 3 at the back, you always expect to go in the wide areas. You think the wide areas are where we're going to get some joy. It's amazing how quickly they've adapted. First, Gary Cahill covering Alonso on the left-hand side. This time, have a look at Azpilicueta, sniffing the danger. I'm going to cover you, Moses. I'll go and clear this one for us. And even if this ball comes into the box, you've still got David Luiz and Cahill ready there to clear anything in that area of the field. And also, what it's done for Azpilicueta as well, and Cahill, they can go into midfield and create that extra man. He's pressing Paul Pogba here with the comfortableness, knowing that he's got his 2 centre-halves and Matic sat in front, and then that allows people like Kante to go and do what they do best, go and forage, win the ball back for his team, and that's exactly what he's done.
It's a flexibility.
It is, and when you've got people like David Luiz on your side, I mean, every now and again he's going to go on one of his little runs, and that's exactly what he did today, but now Chelsea don't have to worry about that. They haven't got to think, well, what do we do? You know, David Luiz has gone on one of his runs. Calm. Azpilicueta goes, you get yourself in here, Matic. Points to him. Get in here. Now with 3v2, everything's nice and calm. And I do think it's down to this guy as well. He deserves big credit, Moses. He's been on loan, Liverpool, Stoke and West Ham in the last 3 seasons. And he's allowed Chelsea, I think, to really play this system. It's a difficult one to find those wing-backs that are capable of doing it. And he's come into the fold, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for getting his head down in pre-season and putting in a performance. And Conte deserves a lot of credit for having a real look at his squad, seeing what he's got without judging, and then giving him the opportunity to go and put in a performance like that.
I think when you play wing-back, it's the hardest position to play in this system because you've got to defend at your far post and you've got to get up to the other end and score at the far post and the other end. And I think with Conte, he's got a great balance. He's got a defender on one side in Alonso, playing wing-back, and he's got an attacker, an ex-winger, playing wing-back on the other side. And I think they've got a great balance in the side now.
Just one other thing on this issue. I'm assuming you've both been at clubs and both been in situations where a manager has come in or a manager has decided to change the system and implement something new. And do you need a result like this? I mean, I know they've been in the Champions as well. A couple of results like that, maybe, to give you belief as players.
Of course, this is brand new to Chelsea. And yes, they'd have been trying it out in training, but the minute that whistle went today, I'm sure that they've all looked at each other and gone, we're the real deal now. This is what works for us going forward.
I think it's the size of the game. It's the size of the game that helps. You know, you can beat Hull, you can beat Leicester, but when you beat a team like Manchester United, that belief that it'll give the team, is that this manager actually knows what he's doing.
If you take a look at the papers for tomorrow morning, just a couple of the headlines. The Telegraph going, the humiliated one. I think the Times have done something similar as well. Mourinho humiliated. Has he been humiliated?
For me, no. I mean, I played for Manchester United, Chelsea, and got beat 5-0 under Sir Alex Ferguson. It happens in football. I think what they've got to do now, with the run of games that they've got to start winning them and winning them well.
No, a manager's, you know, he's there to set out his team to do a job. Like Phil said, you can't legislate for putting your team out, setting the stall out all week, and then after 30 seconds going a goal down, and then conceding the goals that they have. I mean, it's
but then, for all of that, though, they didn't cause Chelsea that many problems. I take your point on individuals at the back making mistakes, but then surely you're looking for a bit more going forward to get yourself back into it.
Well, that was the criticism at Anfield on Monday. I think they only created one chance for the Zlatan header on Monday. They do need to improve their attacking play, but over the next 3 games, I think Jose said after the game, they need to win, and they need to win well, they need to start scoring goals.